Oh, good morning at Purely Arsenal FP. Purely Arsenal Instant Reaction. Arsenal drawing at Everton 1-1 in our final game at Goodison Park. I won't miss it, to be honest. But it was an interesting lineup that we put out. Very cold, early 4:30 a.m. game over here for me. That's a dedicated fan. We made a lot of changes, and changes that we should have made, I think, with the game coming up on Tuesday. What was really good to see was that Timber and Ben White were both back in the squad. Ben White got a start at right back, and Timber got a rest. We also rested Odegaard. We didn't start Saka, which I thought we might. We saw Jorginho come in for Partey. Partey didn't play at all. Kivior kept his place at centre-back, and we played a front three with Trossard as the false nine. Marino sitting a little bit more in midfield, with Rice sort of playing in the Odegaard role. And so there was a lot of changes. It was a very mismatched lineup. Wanyeri kept his place on the right wing as well. And there wasn't a ton to the first half, but we were definitely the better team. And we got just rewards with a goal, really. Sterling does quite well, who also got a start. And it's a sort of mishap in midfield from their midfielder, and Sterling sort of takes the ball and gives it to Trossard, and it's a great finish from Trossard. That's what he does really well, to be honest. Gets the ball out of his feet really early and gets his shots off, because he knows he's not necessarily got the pace to beat a man. So he is good in and around the box, getting his shots off. And in this game, he did it a few times, really. I thought he could have had it's a great finish with his left foot. I think it went through the legs of the defender, O'Brien or Brathwaite, I can't remember who it was, and into the bottom corner. And we get a 1-0 deserved lead at that point. Probably should have been 2-0 in at the break, with Trossard going through again from a lovely ball from Jacob Kivior, who played a few of those, to be honest. Some really nice sort of whipped balls in behind the Everton backline. And I think Trossard's almost too honest, really, because he could go down and get a penalty. With this referee, probably wouldn't give it to us, but he could definitely have gone down there. But he tries to keep his feet, and he does get a shot off, but he's too close to Pickford, and Pickford saves it at that point. And we go in at half-time, pretty comfortable, 1-0. And as soon as we come out, I have to say, I don't think we started particularly well. Raya kicks the ball out of play immediately, and then he comes rushing out of his goal when he doesn't need to within like the first 30 seconds of the half. Didn't think we started the half particularly well. In saying that, that's a mad penalty to give. I mean, what I would say defensively is Jacob Kivior shouldn't be letting that ball bounce. I think he kind of just assumes Lewis Skelly's going to deal with it. But when you let a ball bounce like that, you open yourself up for some trouble, really. In saying that, there's nothing in it. There's just nothing in it. I don't think it's a foul. I know the contact kind of starts before he gets in the box as well. Harrison, is it? He just goes down, and it's not a penalty at all. But because there's contact between the two bodies, and because we know this referee, especially in the second 45 minutes, we got to know him really well and what he wanted to do, which is what he wanted. He wanted us to know who he was and make the game about him, really. And maybe it's his final game at Goodison Park as well. He wanted to make it a memorable one for everyone, where we could really despise him. And he gives a penalty. Never a penalty. I don't really blame Lewis Skelly. I would say he gets a little bit caught. Wrong side, maybe. But there's not enough contact for a penalty. It's not a penalty, he just falls down. Kivior, I think, should handle it before the bounce. Penalty gets put away from Inday, and suddenly it's a game, and it lifts the crowd, and Everton look like a different team, to be honest, at that point. It becomes a bit more of an end-to-end game. Still don't think they created a lot. I think they had 1.1 XG, so 0.3 XG without the penalty, to our 2.1. I think this is a game that we felt a lot this season, where we've left a win on the table and we've ended up walking away with a draw when we should have won the game quite comfortably, to be honest. I mean, even in the second half, 1-1, I don't think Saka was particularly effective when he came on. I don't think he did much at all, really, and I don't know what that leaves us for Tuesday. I'm not blaming him, he's coming back from 3 or 4 months, but he didn't look particularly ready to start for me against Madrid in this one, whereas against Fulham the goal maybe marred what was probably a similar performance to this. I thought we had some good chances even after 1-1, you know. I mean, they had one shot from the edge of the box, but that was about it, through Decore. But Trossard has a great volley that gets given as a foul, but again, it's not a foul. Marino has a header, Odegaard has a shot that just goes wide. Martinelli, who I thought looked really bright, has a shot that Pickford somehow saved. Declan Rice from a free kick saved. We had our chances, you know. We probably should have walked away with a win, despite the silly penalty that was given. Made a lot of changes. Saka came on, Martinelli came on. Martinelli I thought looked bright. Tierney I thought looked bright, really bright actually. Playing some lovely balls into the box and into Martinelli, and they always have had quite a good link up, and I thought they did really well. I thought Lewis Skelly was really good in the second half as well, even after the penalty. That driving run forward, he's just, what a player he is. Was interesting to see Trossard sort of play most of the game at the false nine. I don't know what that means. I wonder if Trossard's put his name in the hat really for starting, and whether you do if you don't think Saka's ready, whether we do what I thought would do a couple of weeks ago, which is sort of Trossard, Martinelli, Marino front three, but then that means you're probably playing Martinelli on the right wing, which I don't think is ideal. So we've got a lot of question marks. Do we play Ben White? We saw come back. Thought he did okay. Did give a ball away in the first half where Beto almost came through. Or maybe that was second half. I can't remember. No, it was first half. And but he got 60 minutes under his belt, and I wonder what that means really. It's all about Real Madrid. We've dropped 2 points here. If we take care of the rest of our home games in the Premier League and pick up maybe 1 or 2 wins away, we should be okay really for top 4. So I think most of us, would we have taken a point before this game? No, you want to win it, but it's not a disaster. Got away with no injuries. Obviously Gabriel's out for the season now. That's another hamstring strain. 3 surgeries, which is very, very rare. Grade 3 hamstring strains in a season, in 3 or 4 months really. So I don't know. I don't know what it leaves us with for Tuesday. No more injuries, but lots of question marks over what we start with. Do we play Kivior? Do we play Ben White at centre back? I think those are the 2 options he has to think about. If he plays Ben White, he'd move Saliba over. Is that a shift that he wants to make? And in the front line, has Trossard done enough to start? I'm not sure when Yeri did. So I think it's really whether he thinks Saka's ready or not, or whether he wants to go with Trossard and flip the front 3 a little bit, because I do think he'll play Marino up front. All about Tuesday. Massive game. 1-1 at Everton, at Purely Arsenal FP. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know your thoughts.